When the first note of Symphony No. Wu Destiny resounds in the concert hall, the urgent and firm dong 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 is like the knocking of fate, instantly seizing the hearts of every listener. In the passionate melody, people seem to see a figure stubbornly struggling against fate. He is Ludwig van Beethoven, a great composer who cried out through music and fought with his life. From a musical prodigy on the streets of Bonn, to a giant in the Vienna music circle. From a genius with acute hearing to a deaf loner, Beethoven has left an indelible mark in the history of music with his symphonies, sonatas, and concertos, and has left precious spiritual wealth for mankind with his unyielding spirit. On December 16, 1770, Beethoven was born into a musical family in Bonn, Germany. His grandfather was the conductor of the Bonn Court Orchestra, and his father Johann was a tenor singer. Although limited in talent, he had high hopes for Beethoven, hoping to train him into a musical prodigy like Mozart. Beethoven's musical enlightenment came unusually early and severely. From the age of 4, his father forced him to practice the piano and violin, often pulling him out of bed for endless training even after getting drunk late at night. Although such a childhood lacked joy, it laid a solid musical foundation for Beethoven. At the age of 8, Beethoven began to perform in public, showing extraordinary musical talent. In 1787, the 17-year-old Beethoven went to Vienna, hoping to study under Mozart. It is said that after listening to his performance, Mozart said to the people around him, "Pay attention to this young man. One day he will shock the world." However, due to the sudden death of his mother, Beethoven had to interrupt his studies and return to Bonn to take on the burden of the family. In the years in Bonn, he served as the court organist and deputy conductor of the orchestra, accumulating rich experience in composition and performance. At the same time, he was influenced by the ideas of the French Revolution and formed a world outlook of pursuing freedom and equality. In 1792, Beethoven went to Vienna again and settled there. He studied composition techniques systematically under famous composers such as Haydn and Albrechtsberger. With his extraordinary talent and diligence, Beethoven soon became prominent in the Vienna music circle. His piano playing skills were superb, and his improvisation was unparalleled, winning wide praise from nobles and audiences. Around 1800, Beethoven's creation entered its first peak. His Symphony No. E Piano Sonata Moonlight, Piano Concerto No. Sen and other works were successively published, showing a unique musical style. These works not only inherited the classical tradition of Haydn and Mozart, but also integrated his own strong emotional expression, full of vitality and passion. However, just as Beethoven's career was thriving, a terrible shadow quietly fell. His hearing began to decline. At first, it was only occasional tinnitus, then gradually developed into blurred hearing, and finally complete deafness. For a musician, deafness is undoubtedly a fatal blow. Beethoven fell into deep despair. He even wrote the famous Heiligenstadt Testament, expressing his accusation against fate and the idea of ending his life. But his love for music and unyielding character finally made Beethoven overcome despair. He wrote in his will, "It is art that keeps me. I feel I cannot leave this world before I have completed all the missions I feel." Since then, Beethoven poured all his pain and passion into music creation. His style of works also changed greatly, becoming more powerful, tragic, full of the struggle against fate and the desire for freedom. In 1804, the birth of Symphony No. Eroica marked the maturity of Beethoven's creation. This work was originally dedicated to Napoleon because Beethoven admired his revolutionary spirit. But when he learned that Napoleon had become emperor, he angrily tore off the dedication on the title page and changed it to compose to celebrate the memory of a great man. Symphony Eroica broke through the formal constraints of classicism, with a grand length and abundant emotions, and is known as a milestone in the history of symphonies. In the following 10 years, Beethoven created a series of classic works, such as Symphony No. Wu, Destiny, Symphony No. Nil, Pastoral, Symphony No. Jiu, Choral, etc. Among them, Symphony No. Joe even added a human chorus to the symphony, with Schiller's Ode to Joy as the lyrics, expressing praise for human unity, peace, and joy, and becoming a peak in the history of music. The reason why Beethoven's music has such strong vitality lies not only in his profound emotional expression, but also in his innovation of musical form and content. He is known as the bridge connecting classicism and romanticism. In terms of musical form, Beethoven expanded the scale and structure of the symphony. Symphonies in the classical period usually consisted of 4 movements with relatively fixed lengths, while Beethoven's symphonies are not only longer but also more complex and changeable in structure. He increased the types and numbers of musical instruments, enriching the timbre and expressiveness of the symphony. For example, in Symphony No. Joe, he added a chorus and soloists, breaking the boundary between instrumental music and vocal music, and creating a new form of symphony. In terms of musical content, Beethoven integrated personal emotions and social ideals into music, making music a tool for expressing thoughts and emotions. His works are no longer just combinations of beautiful melodies, but full of thoughts and cries about life, fate, and society. In Symphony Destiny, he depicted the struggle against fate with music. In Symphony Pastoral, he expressed his love for nature and yearning for rural life. Ode to Joy reflects his vision for a better future of mankind. Beethoven also made important contributions to the development of piano music. His piano sonatas are numerous, with exquisite skills and rich emotions, and are called the New Testament of the piano. Bach's The Well-Tempered Clavier is called the Old Testament. He expanded the range of the piano, enriched the playing skills of the piano, making the piano a solo instrument capable of expressing complex emotions. In addition, Beethoven broke the monopoly of nobles on music, making music accessible to a wider audience. He no longer only served the nobles, but through public concerts, publishing music scores, etc. Let more people appreciate his music. His approach promoted the democratization and popularization of music.